Do you like donuts, but you're trying to eat a little healthier? Well, stay tuned, because I've got you covered. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. I'm Jen, and this is A Better Life with Jen. And in today's video, I'm going to show you a recipe for easy, healthy, homemade, high-protein donuts. And then we're going to compare them to some commercially available protein donuts, and we'll see who comes out the winner. So first, we're going to go ahead and make the homemade protein donuts, and then once those are baked, we'll be able to compare them to the commercial, healthier protein donuts. So I'll go over the ingredients, how I'm going to make them, and then we'll bake them, and I'll come back and we'll give a taste test. So in this bowl here, I have 60 grams of just mashed up banana. Tip: buy the bananas when they're, a little bit brown if you can get them on sale, and then peel them and throw them in the freezer. I love to do that. They're great then to use for smoothies, great for baking, stuff like that. So I just grabbed out some banana. So 60 grams of banana. I'm going to put in a dash of vanilla, just for a little flavor. And I'm going to put in 1 large egg. And we'll go ahead and mix this all up, and then we'll add the dry ingredients. So in this bowl, I have all of the dry ingredients, and in here I have 20 grams of oat flour, which you can just grind up your own oats in your blender or food processor, or you can buy oat flour. I have 15 grams of coconut flour. I have 15 grams of protein powder, and I used, once again, one of my favorite ones when I'm making baked things, and that is PE Science. And I chose Frosted Sugar Cookie. I have a 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, and then I also put in a 1/4 teaspoon of xanthan gum. So xanthan gum is used in a lot of, especially gluten-free products, because it adds sort of a binder to it. So it's in a lot of, ice cream, salad dressings, but also gluten-free baked goods. So I put a 1/4 teaspoon of that in here, and I'm just going to put the dry ingredients in here, mix this up. So this is all mixed up. I'm going to go ahead and place it in my silicone donut-shaped pan that I have here, and I'm just going to spoon it in. So I have this loaded in the silicone donut pan, and I was able to get 4 of these little mini donuts in. I'm going to go ahead and bake this. I'm actually going to bake this in the air fryer, so I don't have to take the time to heat up the oven. And then we'll come back, we'll give this a try, and we'll compare it to the commercial ones. Now, this entire recipe has 313 calories for all 4 of these. It has 9 grams of fat, 35 grams of carbohydrates, and 23 grams of protein. So really great. You can eat all of these in 1 serving. So I'll be back once these are baked, and we'll give them a taste. Well, here are the homemade healthy protein donuts. I just baked these in the air fryer. Took about 6 minutes, didn't take very long at all to bake those. And now we're going to compare them to some commercially purchased healthier protein donuts. So I have 4 different ones here. I'm going to go through all of them, give you the macros on each one, and we'll taste them, and we'll see who comes out the winner. So the first one that I have here is from a company called Redefine Foods, and they make some protein donuts, they make some protein oatmeal pies, some other stuff, and this one is a chocolate donut. And the macros on the Redefine Foods are 9 grams of fat, 24 grams of carbohydrates, 15 grams of protein, and 241 calories in this donut. The next one I have is Quest. Now, I love Quest protein bars. I have never had their donuts before. So this one is chocolate frosted. So it looks like it's just a regular cake donut with chocolate frosting, and looks like sprinkles. We'll see when we open it. And this one has 11 grams of fat, 28 grams of carbohydrates, and 14 grams of protein for a total of 267 calories. The next one I have is Legendary Foods. Now, I love this company. They make a protein Pop-Tart, which I absolutely love, but they also make a protein donut, which I have not had before. So this is vanilla glazed, and this one actually has 2 donuts in the package, and so the macros for the entire package, so both donuts, are 6 grams of fat, 26 grams of carbohydrates, and 20 grams of protein with 238 calories. And then the last one I have here isn't necessarily a protein donut, but it is supposed to be a little bit healthier donut. And this is a Fiber One donut. And this is just a little tiny one, so it's a little tiny snack. This has 4.5 grams of fat, 14 grams of carbohydrates, and only 1 gram of protein. So like I said, not really a protein donut, just a healthier snack for 100 calories. So we'll go ahead and I'm gonna open all these up and then we'll compare them. Okay, so now that we have them all open up, first in terms of just appearance and aesthetically appealing, I think I'm actually gonna have to go with the Fiber One. It's super cute, it's tiny, it's mini, has a few little sprinkles on it. Next, I would probably go with the Quest because it does have some sprinkles, which give it a little bit. The Legendary Foods, the Redefined, and then the homemade ones are just kind of plain. They're kind of bland looking. So that is just based on looks. So let's taste them. I'm gonna start with the homemade ones. So I did not create any frosting for these, whereas these all have a frosting. You could easily create a frosting using some protein powder and a little bit of almond milk or water actually can make a great frosting for these. So let's give this one a taste first. So remember, the macros on this were for the whole recipe. And the macros on this one were 9 grams of fat, 35 grams of carbohydrates, 23 grams of protein, and 313 calories. I really like the texture of it. The flavor is kind of mild. I probably, next time I make it, would add maybe a little bit of a flavored extract or maybe a little bit of a sweetener like stevia, just to enhance that a little bit. The protein powder, which was the frosted cookie dough, is a little bit on the milder side, but overall really good. Like I said, the texture is really great. I do like those. Next, we're gonna try the Redefined Foods, and this is their chocolate frosted donut. They also make a vanilla version as well. The texture, it's a little bit denser than the homemade ones. And then the flavor, it's kind of mild, very minimal chocolate flavor. It's okay, not the greatest. Next, we're gonna try the Quest, and this is their chocolate frosted. So it's a vanilla donut with a chocolate frosting and the sprinkles. And this one, I will say, looks the most like a regular cake donut that you would buy. And it has an amazing texture. It's very light, it's fluffy. This one was a little bit denser. This is really, really good. That Quest one is great. Next, we're gonna try the Legendary Foods, and this is a vanilla glazed. Texture-wise, it's a little bit denser than any of the others. The flavor is really nice. It's a mild vanilla, but a good flavor. So far, still the Quest is the winner. And then next, we're gonna try the Fiber One, just the little snack donut. Very mild flavor. Texture-wise, it's a little bit dense and chewy. Not quite as dense as the Redefined Foods one, a little bit more chewy, and maybe that's because it doesn't have the added protein to it. So overall, I'm gonna have to rank the Quest chocolate frosted donut as the #1 out of all of these. The texture, it's very light and fluffy. It's definitely the closest to a regular cake donut. Next, I think I would actually rate the homemade ones. The texture was really good, just maybe need a little bit of a frosting to enhance that flavor a little bit. Then I would probably rank the Fiber One, like I said, a little bit different category, not a protein donut, but has a good flavor and a nice texture. Then I would say the Legendary Foods, and then last, the Redefined Foods. It's just a little bit denser than the others. Now, in terms of cost, obviously the homemade ones are going to be the cheapest. These run about, depending on where you buy them and if you get them on sale, about $3 to $4 a piece. Whereas this homemade one, you know, super cheap ingredients, very minimal cost on these. And then nutrition-wise, the homemade ones had the most protein with 23 grams of protein for the entire recipe. Next was the Legendary Foods, which was 20, and then less with these, 14 with the Quest and 15 with the Redefined Foods, and then just 1 gram. Like I said, the fiber one is not really a protein bar or a protein snack. Fat-wise, the Quest one did have the highest amount of fat. Probably that helped a little bit with the texture as well. But overall, the winner by far is the Quest Chocolate Frosted Protein Donut. I hope you enjoyed this taste test and comparison, seeing an easy recipe for homemade protein donuts and then comparing them to the commercially available donuts. If you did enjoy this, please go ahead, give it a like, comment, subscribe, all of those things. I do appreciate it. It does help the channel. And as always, I appreciate everyone watching, and I will see you next week with another video.